Alright, so up to this point in geometry, we have been talking about lines and the way that they can interact in geometry. They can intersect, they can be parallel, they can create angles. But today we're starting a different topic. We're starting polygons, and we're starting with the most basic polygon, which is a triangle. Triangles have three sides. Polygon just means that it is a shape that is closed with straight edges, and a triangle is the most basic type of that. Three sides, three angles. You guys know a lot about triangles, so we're just going to kind of go through this pretty quickly. There are three basic different types of triangles with respect to their angles. A triangle can be obtuse, which means that it has an angle that is bigger than 90. There's that obtuse angle. It means that there is one that is bigger than 90 degrees. If it is a right triangle, this is what we've seen mostly at this point this year. A right triangle has a 90-degree angle. It can only have one 90-degree angle. In acute triangles, every angle is less than, every angle, that's the angle symbol, is less than 90 degrees. So we have three different angles, they are less than 90. I'm marking them with different marks to show that they are not the same. They could be the same. Like in an equiangular triangle, equa means the same, angular means referring to the angles. In an equiangular triangle, all the angles are the same, so we mark them the same way. They are all acute. Every equiangular triangle is also acute. Remember the if-then statements we've been working on. If a triangle is equiangular, then it is acute. Another way of classifying triangles is by their sides, classifying and describing them by their sides. Most triangles that we see are scalene, which means that each side is different, and notice that I am marking each side in a different way to show that none of them are the same length, no sides are congruent. In an isosceles triangle, we have two congruent sides, at least two congruent sides, I should say. So notice here, these two sides are marked with the same number of marks. That means they're congruent, and the third side is not the same, so I use a different number of marks. Equilateral triangles, equilateral, equa means the same, lateral means side, so we have three congruent sides. And we mark them with the same number of marks to show that. Every equilateral triangle is isosceles, because isosceles just means that it has two congruent sides, and equilateral triangles have two congruent sides. Well, actually, they have three. They have more than two, but they do have two congruent sides. So the real meat of today's lesson is all about the angles and the sides of a triangle. And in order to solve most of these problems, we have to know how many degrees are in a triangle. And you probably remember this from 8th grade or sometime earlier in your geometry education, that there are 180 degrees in a triangle. This number keeps popping up everywhere. We talk about supplementary angles add up to 180. The angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. You'll see it all year long, so get familiar with it. Because how would you find the missing angle? I have an angle that's 35, an angle that's 23 degrees, and I have this missing angle x. It appears to be obtuse, because it looks like it's bigger than 90. So how would we find the missing angle? Well, if I know the total is 180, I can subtract the two angles I know, 35 and 23, and I can find out that that missing angle, go ahead and take your calculator, solve it. Pause the video if you need to. That missing angle is 122 degrees, and that should make sense. Like I said, it looks obtuse. So an angle of 122 degrees makes sense. And to check that we did this correctly, you might want to add the three together. We know we should be looking for 180. If it's true, give it a check mark. If it's not true, go back and figure out where we messed up along here. What type of triangle is this one? Well, one of the angles is bigger than 90, so it's obtuse. None of the angles are the same, which means that none of the sides are the same. So it's actually also a scalene triangle. All the sides are different, because all the angles are different. Now, it says, problem number 1 says, find the measure of angle A And I know that these three angles add up to 180. So we can do it the way we did the other one, subtracting from 180, or I'm going to show you a different way that you might prefer. X plus 53 plus 35 equals what magic number? 180. So I can plug this side of my equal sign into y1, and I can plug the other side, the right side, into y2, and I can do second trace intersect, or I can use the table to figure out what x is. If you like to do math in your head or in the calculator, just do 180, subtract these two angles. Either way, you're going to find out that angle x is, I'll pause, you should find out that it is 92 degrees. And so we can do a quick check. 92 plus 53 plus 35 equals 180. Check. Problem 2 says, find the measure of angle DFE. Remember that this is measure, not slope. The measure of angle DFE. If you're not sure what angle that's talking about, I like to start with the first letter of the name of the angle, D, trace my way to the second one, F, then trace my way to E. And you can see that we're really talking about the angle between these two rays, or these two segments, x. So we're really trying to find x and how many degrees it is. So I have x plus 51 plus, well hold on, I don't have a third angle here. Or do I? What does this mean? It means 90 degrees. Please don't leave out that third angle. We only know the sum when we have all three angles. So 90 is our third angle, adds up to 180. Pick your favorite way of solving, whether it be y1 and y2, or just subtracting from 180. You might get in the habit of showing this work though, because we're about to get some harder problems in a minute. So, if you figure out what x is, you should find out that x is 39. So just to check, 39 plus 51 plus 90 equals 180. Check. The measure of angle DFE is 39 degrees. You can pause this video at any time if I'm going a little bit too fast for you. Triangle ZXY is an isosceles triangle. What is the measure of angle Y and angle X? So, isosceles triangles, we said we have two congruent sides, and I can see that XZ is marked the same way as XY. Those must be my two congruent sides. And a special thing about isosceles triangles is that the base angles are congruent, and in order to decide what the base angles are, it's probably a good idea to figure out what's not a base angle. The angle between the two congruent sides is called the vertex angle. You don't really need to know that so much as just be able to identify it so that you can figure out what the base angles are. The base angles are the other two angles, the ones that are not between the two congruent sides. So this is one of my base angles, and y is one of my base angles. And in isosceles triangles, the base angles are congruent. They are congruent. There's the symbol for congruent. So what does that mean about the measure of angle y? Well, it's marked the same way as z, so it must be 72 degrees also. Now, I've got three angles that add up to 180, so I have 72 plus 72 plus angle x equals 180. Pick your favorite way of solving. I'm just going to subtract from 180 this time. Subtract 72 twice, and you should get 36. 36 degrees. So do a quick check. 72 plus 72 plus 36 should be equal to 180, and it is. So I knew the measure of angle y was 72, and the measure of angle x is 36. Now I have solved the entire problem. Problem number 4, they don't give you a picture. When they don't give you a picture, it's a good idea to draw one. So draw a quick sketch of a triangle. We don't know what it looks like, so it doesn't have to be great. But I know that one of my corners is F, one of my corners is U, and one of my corners is N. The other word for corner that they may use is vertex, and the plural of vertex is vertices. The measure of angle F is 103 degrees. I'm putting it in between the two sides to show that it is an angle. Angle U is 43. Careful not to mark it the same way because they're not actually congruent. And we are trying to find the measure of angle N, this missing one right here. I know that the three angles add up to 180. So I have 103 plus 43 plus, well, I need something to stand for this angle N. I can use anything I want. We've been using X up to this point, so I'm going to use X here. The total is 180 because the three angles add up to 180. Solve it. You should be able to tell me that X is how big? 34 degrees. Do a quick check. 34 plus 103 plus 43 equals 180. Check. Move on. So now, this is the reason I said it's sometimes good to start writing the equations even if you're just solving it numerically, because now we have algebraic expressions in our angles, and it's just going to be easier to write the equation all the time. Not only that, but I'm going to ask you to always show work, so it's just a good habit to get into. Solve for x is what we're asked to do. In order to solve for x, we've got to use the fact that these three angles add up to what magic number? 180. So I have one angle, 2x plus 7, plus my second angle, 4x minus 1, plus my third angle, 30. Make sure you use all three, equals 180. So, pick your favorite method of solving, whether it's by hand, or in the table, or in the calculator. This goes in Y1 if you're using the calculator, this goes in Y2. I'm going to use the calculator. Go ahead and pause and figure out what x is. You should find out that x is equal to 24, whether you use the table, the graph, or solved it by hand. So x is 24. That's all we needed to do for problem number 6. However, it's sometimes a good idea to solve for those angle measures anyway, just to check yourself, see if your algebra was correct. So angle D is 2 times x plus 7, or 2 times 24 plus 7. So 2 times 24 plus 7 is 55 degrees. Angle F is 4 times 24 minus 1. 4 times 24 minus 1. This is 95 degrees. And then we know the third angle is 30, so add them up together. 55 plus 95 plus 30. Do you get 180? You should. Now, problem 7 is almost the same, except they want us to find the measure of angle H. And since they want the measure of angle H, we're going to have to add our angles up to 180, because we need to find out what x is, right? H is 6x plus 7, but if I don't know what x is, that doesn't mean very much to me. I need to know what x is in order to solve for that measure of angle H. So I add 9x plus 68 plus 6x plus 7, and that should be equal to 180. You pick your favorite method of solving. You should probably pause now and do this on your own. Okay, now that you've unpaused, if you're solving by hand, you got 15x plus 75 equals 180. Subtract 75, so you get 105 equals 15x. divide 105 by 15, you should get that x is 7. And just remember that 7 is not what we're looking for here. We're looking for h, which is 6 times x plus 7, or 6 times 7 plus 7, which is 49. 49 is a much more reasonable answer here for this angle. 7 degrees would be something very, very tiny. So you get 7, you might want to think again. It's not x. We're not asked for x here, we're asked for the measure of angle h. So we got some more angle problems here. Find the measure of the missing angle x. And it says, hint, how can you find this angle here next to 130? Well, you should be able to tell me that these two angles are a linear pair, or at least that they are supplementary, which means that they add up to, what's the magic number? 180. So 180 take away 130 will give me that missing portion. 50 goes right here. And now I can say, well, hey, x and 85 and 50 all add up to give me 180 because they're inside of the triangle. 130 is not inside, so it cannot add up with these three. So I have x plus 85 plus 50 equals 180. X is 45, depending on whatever method that you solve, you should get the same answer. Do a quick check. 45 plus 50 plus 85 equals 180. Check. Same method here. In order to figure out what x is, we must know what the three angles inside are, but I have one missing on my inside. So I take 180, subtract 152, should get 28. So this angle is 28. 28 plus 118 plus x equals 180. Remember that you can pause at any time if you're not following. I get 146 plus x equals 180, which means that x must be 34 when I subtract 146 from 180. Do a quick check. 34 plus 28 plus 118 should equal 180. Doubting myself, but that should be right. 34 plus 28 plus 118, 180. Why don't I add 152 with any of these? Well, 152 is on the outside. It's only the angles inside that add up to 180. So far we've just talked about angles. Now we're going to talk about angles and how they relate to the different sides of a triangle. In a triangle, the smallest angle is across from the shortest side. And this should make sense. If you have a really, really small angle, which means that the spacing between the two sides is not very big, I don't need a very large side to kind of cap this and make it a triangle. It's going to be really short because that angle is really small. The same is true for the largest angle. It is across from the longest side. Okay? You have a really, really large angle. The spacing between these two sides is very big. Well, to make a triangle, that side needs to be very, very long. So, largest is across from the longest, smallest is across from the shortest. Therefore, the medium side and the medium angle are also across from each other. So let's see how this actually applies here. It says order the sides of triangle CAT from shortest to longest. Well, in order to find the order of the sides, we must order the angles first. And we have this nice little chart here. It talks about small, medium, and large. So our smallest angle is which one? Which one is the smallest? Angle T is 50 degrees. It is the smallest. So angle T is the smallest. Then it's angle C, which is 60. And then it's angle A, which is 70 degrees. And there's a couple different methods for figuring out what's across from. Sometimes it's not very obvious what is across from an angle. The method that I like is the cover-up method. It's not very easy to show you on here, so I'll show you my second favorite method, which is drawing arrows from the angle to the opposite side. Here's angle T. It touches these two sides. The side it does not touch is across from it. You draw an arrow from that corner to the opposite side. So CA must be the shortest. Remember to put your segment symbol above it. Likewise, angle C is the medium. Go across. AT or TA is the medium-sized side. Angle A is the largest. Go across. CT or TC. So now if we're asked to go from shortest to longest or smallest to biggest, I'm going to say CA is shorter than AT, is shorter than CT. And you can switch the order of those letters. It could be AC or TA or TC, but the order of the side should stay the same. Shortest, middle, longest. Another way you may see this written is that CA, which is the measure of side CA, is less than the measure of AT, which is less than the measure of CT. Remember that when we draw this, we're always trying to eat the larger one. I always remembered that from elementary school. This is the smaller number, or side, or measure. This is the bigger one. We want to eat the bigger one, so we can get bigger. If you're going to do the cover-up method, you cover up the name of your smallest one, T. Okay, well the only side name that I can see is AC up here. So that's where we're getting that the opposite side is CA. If I cover up our medium-sized angle, C, I can only see one side name, AT. That's where I'm getting this from. Lastly, if you cover up the largest one, A, I can only see side CT now. It's the biggest. So you can either use the cover-up method, or you can draw arrows from your vertex to the opposite side. We're going to practice this a lot, so don't worry. Given the triangle below, list the sides from longest to shortest. Well, in order to do that, we need all three angles, and we are missing one. Luckily, you know how to find this angle W. Take 180, subtract 30 from it, subtract 65 from it also. 150, take away 65, I think you're going to find out it's 85 degrees. Check me on that. So if this is 85, we're going to fill out our chart the same way. Smallest to largest. The smallest angle is V. Angle V is 30. Angle X is the second biggest, and the largest is angle W. And now either do starting at your smallest and go to the opposite. XW is the smallest side. Start at the medium-sized angle and go across. VW is the medium, side to side. And across from angle W is the side VX, or XV. It is the longest. Since we want to go longest to shortest, we're going to start listing from the longest. We're going to go up in our chart. So VX is the longest, VW is the middle, XW is the shortest. Remember that the order doesn't matter. I could have named it XV, could have named this WV, could have named this WX. Longest to shortest. So, since this is the biggest, they might list it like so. This is bigger than, we want to eat it, VW, but we also want to eat VW for XW, because it is bigger than us. This is bigger than this, which is bigger than this. In triangle ABC, the measure of angle A is 36, the measure of angle B is 61, which lists the side lengths from greatest to least. So, it helps draw a picture if we don't have one. We've got A, we've got B, we've got C in my triangle. Angle A is 36. Make sure you put it on the inside. It is an angle, it's not on the outside. Angle B is 61. Same deal. Put it on the inside. We gotta find angle C, so I'm going to do 180 subtract 61, subtract 36. The missing angle is 83 degrees. We're going to do small, medium, large. Which one's smallest? Angle A. Which one's the medium? Angle B. Which one's the largest? Angle C. At this point, you might have started noticing a pattern. If A is the smallest angle, the smallest side is BC, the other two letters that are left. However, if you don't see that pattern, that's fine. Either use the cover up method or draw your arrow across. So hey, it's BC, what I just wrote. Across from B is AC, and across from C, the largest, is the largest side, AB. So, which side lengths are listed from greatest to least? Greatest, biggest to smallest. So I'm going AB, AC, and then BC. And we're looking for this. AB, check. CB, no. Can't be A. Can't be B. C, we got AB, check. AC, check. BC, check. Now we've learned how to order the sides when given the angles. Now we're going to go the other way. It's the same process though. The shortest side is across from the smallest angle. So once again, smallest angle, really short side. We don't need much to make that a triangle. The longest side is across from the largest angle. If we have a really big angle, we need a really big side in order to complete that triangle. So we're going to list the angles from least to greatest. This time we don't have our angles, we're going to list our sides instead. Well, the smallest side means the one that is the least long, the shortest. Which one's shortest? That would be this one, HG. The medium is FG. And the largest is FH. Now, it still helps to start at your vertex of the angle and draw your way across so that we don't get confused about what is across from what. So what is across from HG? Well, that would be angle F. What is across from FG? If you like to cover it up, sort of block out line FG, and you can see that angle H is across from it. FH is the longest side. Across from it is angle G. So we're listing from least to greatest, or smallest to largest. Angle F is smaller than, angle H is smaller than angle G. Given triangle RPQ with PQ 8 centimeters, RQ is 9 centimeters long, and PR is 5 centimeters long. Might help to draw a picture. Doesn't have to be perfect. P, Q, R. Well, PR is 5 centimeters. RQ is 9 centimeters. And PQ is 8 centimeters. Small, medium, large. Which one's smallest or shortest? Well, PR. Medium is PQ. Longest, RQ. Start at your vertex, go across just to find out what pairs up with what. So, PR was across from Q. Just in case you don't see that, Q is across from PR. Angle Q. Across from PQ is angle R. Across from RQ is angle P. Remember, the cover-up method I like the best because that way you only have one choice. When you cover up RQ, the whole side with your finger or something, the only angle you can see a name for is angle P. List the angles from smallest to largest. Well, angle Q is smaller than angle R is smaller than angle P. You can do this without a picture, but it really just helps to see it, solidify it in your mind. Given triangle TUS, which of the following must be true? Well, before we even try to tackle this, we need all three angles. So, I got 180, take away 70, take away 80. 180 minus 150 is 30. S is 30 degrees. Now, I need a chart. I don't have a chart this time. You're going to have to make your own chart. But we know that small, medium, large goes here. And we know that we have a column for angles and a column for sides. My pen quit working on me. And it's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. Technical difficulties. Alright, and we're back. We got angles, we got sides. Well, what's the smallest angle here? S is 30 degrees. Not S because it's small, it's S because it's the smallest. The medium is angle U, 70 degrees, and the largest is angle T. I'm going to use the across method this time. So across from S is UT, across from U is ST, and across from angle T is SU. So now we're just trying to figure out which of the following must be true. Well, this is saying ST is longer than UT. That's true. But is UT larger than SU? No, SU is the largest, right? SU is the biggest. This doesn't make any sense. SU bigger than ST, bigger than UT. Yeah, that makes sense. Remember this symbol? Picture these like alligator teeth. It's trying to eat the larger. This one is bigger, this one is smaller. The other way you might be able to think about this is, okay, if I draw my symbol with dots on the ends, this has 2 dots. This side has more dots, it's bigger. This side has fewer dots, it is smaller. I thought that was a pretty cool way of looking at this. List the sides of the triangle in ascending order. Ascending, to ascend a staircase, you're going up, going up. So that means we're starting small and ending big. Well, we have to use a lot of tricks on this problem. First, you got to figure out angle A. Well, the angle's 118, and this yellow one next to it add up to 180. They make a linear pair. 180 take away 118. That's 62. Angle A is 62. Well, I can figure out angle C now, because 62 plus 54 plus x equals 180. Remember that the 3 angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. So 62 plus 54 is 116. Angle C is 64 degrees. And now I can do my small, medium, large. Angle B is smallest. Angle A. And then angle C. Either cover up angle B so that I see side AC, or I can start and go across. Either cover up A to see BC, or go across. Cover up C, find AB, or you can simply go across. Now it says list them least to greatest. Well, we've done that before today. Small, medium, large, AC, BC, AB. Or AC is smaller than, wants to eat BC, smaller than AB. Either way is the way you might see it. In triangle DEF, DE is 12 inches, EF is 17 inches, and FD is 15. So FD, 15 inches, DE, 12 inches, EF, 17. You can do your small, medium, large. My largest is FE, 17. My medium is DF, and my smallest is DE. You may either cover up or start at the vertex of the angle and go across. Start at the vertex, go across, start at the vertex, go across. I like the cover up method better, but I can't really show you that when I'm not there. If you cover up side DE with your pencil, you will see angle F, that is the smallest. If you cover up DF with your pencil, you will see angle E only, that is the medium. Since FE is the largest and I cover it up with my pencil, angle D is left. So which of the following statements is true or correct? F is bigger than E is bigger than D. Well, hey, F is the smallest. That's not possible. F is smaller than E is smaller than D. Yeah, that's the good one. B. Almost done, guys. Your troopers for hanging on so long. List the sides in descending order means from greatest to least. When you descend, you're going down. So in order to solve this, you got to figure out what T is first. 180, take away 52, take away 62. So 180, take away 52, take away 62. You should be able to tell me that T is 66 degrees. So small, medium, large. Angle S is the smallest, coincidentally. Angle R is the medium, and angle T is the largest. If I cover up angle S to find out what's across from it, I see TR is the name of that side. If I cover up R, I see that ST is the side across from it. And when I cover up my largest T, the only thing I see is SR. And we're going to list from greatest to least, so from largest to smallest. SR, ST, TR. Or SR is bigger than ST is bigger than TR. Remember, it's got two dots instead of one. This is bigger. This is smaller. Last one, and it's kind of a doozy. Given triangle BOY, list the sides in order from longest to shortest. Well, you might notice here that this would be really easy if we had side lengths, but we do not. We don't even have angles on this one. We have expressions for our angles. So this problem kind of combines everything that we've talked about today, and you can totally do it, so don't just give up. I know that these three expressions, these three angles, add up to what magic number? 180. So 3x minus 25 plus 2x plus 30 plus x plus 19 equals the magic number 180. Since this is a rather complicated one, I'd rather you get it correct, so if you're going to solve it by hand, be careful. The most efficient way is going to be plugging into your calculator y1 and y2. Okay, but you can do it by hand, that's fine. So take a second, figure out what x is, because we need x in order to figure out what everything else is. If you're not pausing, you should. You need to do this. Okay, now that you're back, x equals 26, hopefully you found out, but we don't know the angle still. So I've got to take this and plug it back into angle B, into angle O, and into angle Y. So 3 times 26 minus 25, you should get 53 is angle B. For angle Y, 2 times 26 take away 25. 2 times 26 take away 25. You should get 27. I'm sorry, it's not take away 25. Don't listen to me. Hey, I still make mistakes even when I'm not in class. 2 times 26 plus 30. 2 times 26 plus 30. This angle is 82 degrees. And then lastly, 26 plus 19 45. So now we have our angle information. We can make our chart. Angles, sides, small, medium, large. Which is the smallest angle? 45 degrees, angle O, which is the medium angle. Angle B, 53 degrees. Angle Y is the largest. 82. We probably should check. 82 plus 53 plus 45. Check it. Make sure it adds up to 180. It does. So we know our angles are right, and we know we have the order correct. Now it's just a matter of getting the sides. So cover up angle O with your finger, and you'll see BY is across from it. Cover up B with your finger, and you'll see that YO is across from it. Cover up angle Y with your finger, and you will see BO is across from it. We want to list them from longest to shortest. Longest to shortest. BO is largest, YO is second largest, BY is the shortest. Remember that you might also see it BO bigger than YO bigger than BY. Whew, that's a lot of work, but it's worth it, and that's probably what you're more likely to see on the SOL.